In this presentation, we hope to explain World Handicapping. We had hoped to do this personally, but of course with COVID-19 we weren't able to visit clubs. If you have any questions at the end of the presentation, we'll put our contact details. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. The worldwide handicap system tries to do exactly the same as our current handicap system. The way in which your handicap index, your handicap, is calculated is slightly different. We will take the average of your best 8 scores from your last 20 rounds of golf, and that average will be used to calculate your handicap index. In exactly the same way as our current system, we will not use par to compare your scores to, but instead we will use what's called a course rating, in other words a standard scratch. All of your scores will be compared to this and then sloped. Slope will be applied, and this allows us to make sure that your performance can be compared no matter how hard or how easy the golf course you've played. That performance can be compared with everybody else in the world. This presentation is made up of lots of little videos, each one explaining a different aspect of the worldwide handicapping system. There'll be some new terminology used. For example, handicap index, which replaces handicap. Course handicap, which is the number of shots that you get on a given set of tees on each individual golf course. Playing handicap, which is the number of shots that you'll get in a particular type of competition. It's important to remember that your handicap index is simply a starting point, and the number of shots that you get will depend on which course you visit and which set of tees you play. For further details, just watch each individual video and we'll go through the whole of the new system for you.
The process for when you go and play golf is pretty similar for today. You would turn up to the golf club knowing your handicap index. You would then check out what your course handicap is going to be. There'll be charts on either the tee or in the pro shop. You'll then find out your stroke allowance, which would be your playing handicap. You then play your round of golf, and then you submit your score just like you would today.
We have teams working across the county most of the year round assessing golf courses. No stone is left unturned. We have to measure the width of fairways in landing areas, the size, speed, slopes on greens, length of rough, altitude. We have to work out the slopes that shots are played off, and layup holes. The only difference now is that we have to have 2 ratings every time we go to a golf course. One that is designed to catch out and look at the measurements required for scratch golf, and the other for bogey golf. Standard scratch will now be referred to as a course rating. Course rating is the degree of difficulty that a golf course presents to a scratch golfer. The easiest way to describe slope is a number that when applied to a calculation allows every handicap index to have a course rating of its own. Having carried out the 2 course assessments, one for a scratch golfer and one for a bogey golfer, the difference between the 2 is multiplied by a factor to give us what's called slope. The average slope is 113, and you'll see that number used a lot in order to compare scores shot on both easy courses and difficult courses. You'll see score differential used quite a lot. Score differential is your score minus the course rating for your handicap. The way in which we calculate this is we take your score after adjustments, we deduct the course rating of the golf course, and then that gives you a score differential between your score and effectively the standard scratch of the golf course. We then have to apply slope. So what we do is we multiply by 113 and we divide by the slope rating of the set of tees that you've played. This effectively gives you your score less the standard scratch or the course rating for the golf course at your particular handicap level. You'll see by our example here that sometimes a higher score on a more difficult golf course will give you a lower differential than a low score on an easy golf course. Go.
New golfers will need to submit 3 cards in order to get a new handicap index. The highest handicap index you can get is 54. Once you have submitted your 3 cards, your handicap index will continue to build until you have 20 cards in your scoring record. Once you have reached 20 cards, your handicap index will then become established. Then it will take the average of your lowest 8 of your last 20 scores. As you can see from this slide, your handicap index is based on your best 8 of your last 20 scores. Now, once you've got 20 scores in your record and you play another round, your oldest score will drop off the bottom and there'll be a recalculation of your handicap index.
Your course handicap is the number of shots that you get on each individual golf course and actually off each individual set of tees. To calculate your course handicap, you take your handicap index, you multiply it by the slope of the set of tees that you're playing, and you divide by 113. In certain formats, just as today, you will get your full course handicap, for example, when playing match play. But some formats, you'll only get a percentage of your course handicap. What we've done is we've put together a chart that will give you an indication as to what percentage you get in different formats.
The playing conditions calculation, or PCC, is pretty similar to today's competition standard scratch. However, everyone who plays on that day, on that course, will count towards it. Now, it won't differ your score differential that much. However, if it does, it will only be from -1 to +3. For your score to count, it must be played within the rules of golf, you must be playing with at least one other person, you must be playing in an authorised format of play, over the minimum number of holes, and your course must have a course and slope rating. Formats such as 4-ball bettable or other match play events are not authorised. Before you go in play, you must pre-register your round with the club. So if you want your round to count towards your handicap index, you would need to pre-register with the club. You then go out, enjoy your round of golf, and when you come back in, you either enter your scorecard via a PSI or an app. Then it would take into consideration the PCC, your scoring record, and then you'll get a new handicap index ready for your next round of golf the next day.
Just as now, the system allows for golfers who are improving very quickly or just going through a slump. For those going through a slump, the system remembers your lowest handicap index in the previous 12 months and won't allow that number to go up by more than 5 shots. After 3 shots, it suppresses the rate of increase. So if you're playing poorly, you will slowly go up after 3 shots, and then you'll hit a cap and you can't go up by more than 5 shots in any 12-month period. Just as now, if there is an underlying reason to your loss of form, such as an injury that you're not going to recover from, and you have to be reset as such, the handicap committee can make that decision and change your handicap manually. As you can see from this example, the system remembers that the player's low handicap index is 12. Once his handicap index gets to 15, the system only allows 50% of upward adjustments. The system won't allow the handicap index to go up by more than 5 shots. And so because of that, 17 is the maximum handicap index in this 12-month period. In the same way, the system caters for quick improvers. If, for example, you beat your handicap index by 7 shots or more, then you will automatically go down 1 shot. Whereas if you beat your handicap index by 10 shots or more, you'll go down automatically by 2 shots. Just as now, the handicap committee keep an eye on performance, and if we have a player who is still exceeding the speed at which the system can reduce their handicap, the handicap committee can reduce the handicap manually.
As you can see in the images below, your exceptional scoring reduction is applied to each individual card in your last 20. As you start playing, your exceptional scoring reduction will start to wash out the more cards you put in.
Throughout these videos, we've been talking about calculations, how to submit cards, the various ways in which you work out how many shots you get when playing various competitions. All of this can seem quite daunting, but you shouldn't really worry because technology will take over. Your ISV, so in other words, the systems that you currently use, will be converted to World Handicapping and will help you a lot. There's an app on the way that will give you your handicap and help you calculate how many shots you get. And generally the industry is working to make these changes as simple as possible so that all you have to do is enjoy your golf.
If you have any further questions regarding the new World Handicap System, please don't hesitate to get in touch on 01844 279 600, or you can simply email us at secretary@bbogolf.com. Thank you.